This week on, there's a guy available for trade. Should the Packers trade for him? Kenyan Drake, the running back from the Miami dumpster fire Dolphins. Speaking of Drake, the way I feel about Kenyan Drake is, you know that meme where Drake is like, in the first panel, and in the second panel, he's like, Kenyan Drake is in the first panel. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am Tom, is not wearing any pants right now, Grossi, and today we're going to take a look at a topic that continuously gets asked over the past few weeks, and now that rumors have come out that the Dolphins are accepting inquiries into their running back. But before we get to that, let's do some brief Patreon shoutouts. The new guys, we have Joseph Mitchell upping his subscription from $5 to $10. Thank you, sir. We have Robert Barnes. Thank you, my good sir. We have Max, like Cher, simple, one name to the point. You know it. Then we have Mr. Laserballs, which I have to think that is going to either make your love life very, very dangerous or very erotic. Then we have Andrew Thorne, thank you very much, and we have two new patrons over in the I'm Not a Packers Fan tier, so they get charged a little bit more, and that is Andy Song and Jacob Schmidt. And thank you to all of you wonderful people. Check out patreon.com/Tom Grossi Comedy for some more cool rewards. Now let's talk about Kenyan Drake. Now the Dolphins are officially considering to trade him, and I for one am just shocked. I can't believe it. The Dolphins, who are we gonna? They're the worst team in the league. It's the Redskins beat them, right? So it's them or the Bengals at this point. When they get AJ Green back, the Bengals will be better. So yeah, Dolphins are the worst team right now. So it's gonna be a full-blown fire sale going on in Miami, and not just because their state is on fire from the hot Floridian sun, but because their team is literally on fire. Now, they are hoarding draft picks like Gollum from Lord of the Rings at this point, and they're just not going to stop until they own pick number 1 through 32 of the first round. Now, Kenyan Drake is not going to be worth a first-round pick, but here's what I'm going to tell you. He's not worth just about anything at this point, and that has nothing to do with the actual man or player himself. The reason I think that is because he is going to be a free agent at the end of this year, similar to an AJ Green, but he has more value, similar to an Emmanuel Sanders, but he's going to have more value. But Kenyan Drake right now is a part-time running back. So he's only going to be going to a team that has a desperate need for running back, and they also have to look at it as stats are not that impressive. So for example, this year thus far, and again, he's splitting carries back there, so, he doesn't have a lot of miles on the odometer, the old running back odometer, but 41 carries, 153 yards, is averaging 3.7 yards a carry, no touchdowns, has 19 receptions for 137 yards, and no touchdowns. Now, his entire career, he's a third-round pick in 2016. Since 2016, he's only started in 16 games. He's played in 53. He's had 327 rushing attempts for a little over 1,500 yards, 9 touchdowns, 113 receptions for a yard shy of 900 yards, and 6 TDs. So the production isn't god-awful, but the guy just hasn't played a whole lot, and at the same time, Miami's offensive line is also non-existent. And so the question that comes into play is who the hell is going to pay high draft capital to get him? At most, maybe a fourth, and that's a big reach. I'm thinking 5th or 6th when it comes to actually trading for him. And so when it comes to the actual Packers trading for Kenyan Drake, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, one, we have Aaron Jones, obviously, who had a big mistake last week and people were crucifying for it, but the previous week ran for 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys. We have Jamal Williams, who came back and looked incredible on Monday night against the Lions. That 1-2 combination is phenomenal. And we also have Dexter Williams, who we just drafted, who, yes, has not seen the field yet, but like, we're good at running back. We just released another running back in Trey Carson, who the Lions actually scooped up. But I think we're set. It makes no sense to me to use draft capital to spend on a part-time running back who, yes, could be beneficial in the passing game, but, like, we have backs that can already do that when Aaron Jones actually catches the ball, and Jamal Williams is pretty effective in that too. And so, for me, this does not make a whole lot of sense, especially when both our running backs are healthy. And if we're going to continue this 1-2 punch that we have, and what's nice about it is not only the change of tempo and the change of running style that we get with Jones and Williams, but on top of that, if one of them is doing poorly, the other one has shown that they will literally be like Sam in Lord of the Rings, second one today, and literally carry the load. And so you have Aaron Jones, when Jamal Williams is out, he's scoring 4 touchdowns. When Aaron Jones screws up, Jamal Williams comes in and has a phenomenal night. Could have had 2 touchdowns, but slid on his butt to make sure the clock was still running. So for me, this does not make any sense. I've also seen him potentially packaged. People have asked this about Devontae Parker, satisfying the need for a receiver, and also getting Kenyan Drake. I don't know. I mean, again, I just don't think it's necessary to get Drake. And what are you willing to trade for that? Are you willing to trade a 3rd or a 4th rounder for that? Because that 3rd or 4th rounder could be going to getting a receiver. And so there's this debate going on, obviously, the people who want a veteran receiver. So Aaron Rodgers has someone he can trust, someone he can throw the ball to, etc. Don't have to worry about it. But it's going to cost you. Or there's the, okay, if we, for some reason, still need a receiver by the end of the season because our guys haven't developed quick enough, then we just draft one in the early rounds, like the 1st or 2nd round, which we haven't done in quite some time. So I feel like the thing that makes the most sense is literally just to wait this out and see if there is a need. And if there's a need in this week and the following week with both our guys like Devontae Adams and Geronimo Allison out, fine, then go get a veteran wide receiver. But it makes no sense right now to go get a running back, in my humble opinion. So I'm saying no to Kenyan Drake. No. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at Tom Grossi Comedy on all the social media see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the Patreon members over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. Well, have a wonderful weekend, folks. There'll be a few interview clips coming out today, and then we will be live streaming at 1 p.m. Eastern, probably a little bit before that for the Raiders-Packers game, so I will see you then, my fine friends. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi, and as always, go Pack Go. Oh, man. It's breezy in here.